My name is Holly, and I'm from Northern Ontario, Canada. As a recovering empath, yes, it makes sense.
Recovering empath. Oh,
Oh, I don't know why I put recovering. I'm still an empath. Like, you don't have to worry about me all the time. You have to stop trying to fix me and maybe just accept me.
welcome everyone to the One Moment Podcast. Oh Lord, hold on. I'm already losing my train of thought. I am your boy and your co-host, Kevo, whatever you want to call me, also known as Kevin. I am a licensed therapist in the state of North Carolina. And we have a beautifully amazing young lady on our show today. And I have the absolute privilege and honor of laughing my rear end off for the last half hour before we hit the record button. She kept telling me not to hit the record button. I'm kidding. She didn't tell me that.
Kevin, where's this lady you're speaking of?
Right. Well, hey, speaking of that, Miss Holly, how are you doing, man? Tell us a little about you. Where are you from? I know where you're from, but for those people who don't know of you, tell us a little about you.
Well, Happy New Year, first of all.
Absolutely. Happy New
And
Year.
yeah, Mary, yeah, as I saw in a video today, Happy New Year for all those who celebrate.
Right. And might as well go ahead and hit it while we're here. Happy Valentine's Day too. I mean,
Well, we're gonna talk about Valentine's Day after, because there's a connection to my book. But thank you for that introduction. My name is Holly, and I'm from Northern Ontario, Canada. And I was born and raised here, but I've lived in more northern places in Canada, depending on where work took us. Raised a small family in Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories, and have come full circle, and I'm back here. So this is probably where I will spend the rest of my days, unless my kids head south, and I will follow them.
well, you could, move to the States, just saying. I mean, we got plenty of places in the States to move to. New York, Connecticut, Michigan, Ohio, Wyoming, just saying, North Carolina.
I could, and we're going to move on to the next subject.
Right.
It's pretty tough getting across the border, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. Listen, I've tried that before. I tried that in October, and the
Oh,
country of Canada told me, they gave me a nice, beautiful piece of paper and said, "You are
uh-huh.
welcome to leave Canada and return in a few years." And I'm like,
Uh-oh.
noted, understood. Thank you for informing me of that. So,
My son just returned to Michigan today, so hopefully he hasn't had any issues, and it's all been good.
well, mine has been due to some history, okay? Due to some
I'm
history.
picking up what you're putting down.
Oh, wow, I love it. So, you are a debut special. Tell us about that. Let's talk about that. What's the name of it? Because I chopped the name of it up, and let's kind of visit that a little bit.
The name of the book is I have to get it right now, North of Broken and Forever Home.
North of Broken and Forever Home.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is forever.
Fur, as in doggy fur. Yes. And so why that name? Is that where we're going?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's rock and roll with it.
Let's well, I mean, that was the second title. I always start a piece of work with a title, no matter what it is, whether it's a poem, short story, it always has to have a title. That's just the way I work. But it had a different title completely. And by the time I was finished this whole process, the title wasn't fitting anymore. So I had to find something new. When I first adopted Sully, because both dogs in my story, in the novel, are my dogs. So I know it gets a little convoluted there, but it's fiction, but it's based on the dogs. Anyways, Sully came to us in a time when I was getting a second dog for my first dog, who was a bit of a jerk, shall we say? And he was just so much energy. And when the lady was when she was interviewing me to adopt Sully, she said, "This is the most broken dog you will ever see." that you will ever meet, encounter in your life. And I thought, oh my gosh. Anyways, that I guess sort of came out in the later stages of writing the book. And I thought, hmm, myself, the main character, and my dogs are a little further away than that now. So I thought north of broken, like just further removed from being broken. And my dogs are in their forever home, and wait for the cheesy factor here, I'm forever home in them. They've accepted me and I've accepted them. So,
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I love it. That is so oh my gosh, I love the way you put both of them together.
thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So what prompted you I'm curious, okay? I
Mhm.
always ask authors this all the time, and I don't think I've, talked to an author yet that I haven't asked this one question. Well, what prompted you to start writing and to even write about that?
Hmm. It doesn't matter how many times I get asked that question, I never quite know how to answer it because, you get the, "Were you always a writer? Did you always like to write?" And it's a yes and no answer because I remember being this little wee girl, behind the wingback chair in the living room, drawing, creating things out of nothing, toilet paper rolls, whatever I could find in the house, and being creative, writing cards to people, writing letters to pen pals. I was that person. But writing wasn't like a big part of my life. I don't even think reading was. I loved English class. I loved writing essays, all of that. And I don't know, 3 years ago ish, the dog, Sully, this is how I say that this is the beginning of this story. Sitting in the backyard, and he's got a lot of issues, anxieties. He doesn't really come close to people, not even to me. And he was coming down the patio stones, and his little ears were flopping, and his big butt was wagging back and forth. And I thought, huh. And then all of a sudden, these lines sort of downloaded to me in his voice, and in my thoughts, and it was saying, I'm okay. Like, you don't have to worry about me all the time. You have to stop trying to fix me and maybe just accept me. And it was like that moment that I kind of went, huh, okay. So I kind of went with that. And I mean, I had a little bit of an experience in something different before with these poems downloading, but I thought, okay, there's something here. So I just started making notes, and then I would develop these little poems, I call them, through his voice. And it was a way for me to just look at him from afar. He'd be sitting way back in the yard, and I just started seeing the 2 dogs in a different way because the other one, Cash, Johnny Cash, is, like I said, high energy. He's done some shenanigans that, pe people will laugh at in the book, I'm sure. But from that moment on, I started writing scenes, more and more scenes, and then they would evolve into chapters, and then I started meeting other writers. That's a whole story too, but then they started supporting me saying like, "Why don't you make a story out of this?" Okay, fine. I started writing our story, and then it just kept going from there. But then I realized I wanted to give my dog a voice so I could understand him better, and I did, and that's when it became fiction. That was a long answer.
That was beautiful. Well, the first thing my brain goes as you were saying that was, um, I usually do this thing at when I'm doing group, when I role
Mhm,
play, depending on which topic we're talking about, um, where and it's very interesting because I do a expressive arts, some techniques from the, expressive arts modality.
mhm,
And so I will stand up, I'll have a patient stand in front of me, and I'll say, "Hey, what do you see behind me?" Name 5 objects or whatever. Like,
mhm,
"Well, shoot, I don't see anything behind you of what you just said." Right? And then, the group and I will talk about that.
mhm,
And then I'm like, "All right, well, listen, let's go ahead and switch spots real quick." Right? And then say, "Okay, now I can see what you said. Can you see what I said too?" And it's like, we will a lot of the times people will say it's about putting ourselves in somebody else's position, in somebody else's shoes, and, trying to, which helps us to have that empathy, which helps us to
yeah,
have that others knowledge. Does that make sense?
mhm, mm,
Others
mhm.
compassion, something of that sort.
As a recovering empath, yes, it makes sense.
Recovering empath. Oh.
No, I don't know why I put recovering. I'm still an empath. No, I agree. And, it's not until you can, and I mean, can we really fully put ourselves in someone else's shoes? No, but we can try. And so that's what I was doing with the dogs because gosh, they're seniors now. And I mean, I've been trying to fix them for almost 12 years. And I realized you got to stop trying to fix these dogs. And that's what happened that day. Sully came towards me and he's like, you got to stop fixing me. I accepted you the way you are with all your quirks and stuff. So why can't you do the same for me? You know? And just to be clear, my dog doesn't talk. This is myself, but I don't know, it really helped me through the process because now I even look at Cash in a different way. And I don't want people to get me wrong because um Cash does have some behavioral issues and I don't dismiss that. And dogs need to be, when I say disciplined, I mean like their behavioral issues, like you need to have things in place to take care of that or to teach them obedience, that sort of thing. But I just discovered that I need to embrace their imperfections as they have in mine. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
No, 100%. No, I couldn't agree more. I think it goes back to, yes, humans are like animals where, we have times where we don't think and we make the wrong decision, we say the wrong thing. And, we're not perfect. Neither are dogs, neither are animals. Animals don't
Mhm.
have that logical thought process of, oh, well, if I do this, then this is going to happen. And if I do this, then that's going to happen. And you know
Mhm.
what? Maybe I'd like to think about, what decision can I do to invest in for the next 5 years? And how is this going to impact me? Animals don't think that way.
Mm-mm.
And so I love that perception of, what you put in the book because it helps us, at least it makes sense for me. It helps me to even practice that empathy even more with
Mm.
others. And I say others, that anything outside of me, others. And
Mhm.
I love that idea.
Mhm. And with
Um,
yourself, right?
right, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Do you have a dog?
I do, I got 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I have 2 of them, and, both of them are just a absolute complete mess.
So you're gonna go and look at your dogs differently after this conversation, hopefully.
Most likely, 100%. Yeah, I mean, because I will be thinking very similar things to what we're talking about, and I'll be like,
Mhm.
"I wonder how Bruno is doing, and at least what he's thinking.
Mhm. Yeah.
Rascal."
And my dogs are complete opposites, right? One is like calm, submissive, will never retaliate. And I will never trust a dog 100%, ever, ever. I'm an absolute dog enthusiast, animal enthusiast, but I will never trust my dogs 100% because I don't know what their past was. I don't know what their history was. I know that Cash has had aggressive tendencies when he was younger. Not so much anymore, but he's the aggressor. Sully is the he's so laid back. I mean, he doesn't even approach people, but so yeah, it's very interesting to see their opposing personalities.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I'm in between both of them. So
Right, right. So you said earlier the book is fictional, and a
yes.
lot of it is based on real life
Yeah.
circumstances,
Hmm.
uh, or real life experiences slash scenarios, such as, I'm curious.
That's the question part. Like that was a such
Yeah,
as? Okay.
yeah,
All right. All right.
such as.
I wasn't sure if you were going to get into some of those on your own. I thought, huh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
Imma leave it very broad. Imma leave it very broad and let you kinda see
yeah.
how you want to take this.
All right. On the road. Um, this started out as what people tell me is autofiction. So I started writing my stories with the dogs. But when I wanted to recreate Sully's rescue story, I knew that there was going to be some fiction in there. And then it was no longer me because I wanted to send the main character on a rescue mission to get Sully and the pack. So in fact, the beginning of the story, it's a dual point of view, by the way. So Renly has her point of view and Sully has a voice, his point of view in the book. So first it's Renly and we uncover some of her life and then she goes on this rescue mission. But meanwhile, the opposing chapter is Sully and his family. And his name in the beginning is Little Dog. I had to find generic names for these dogs, so I called him Little Dog because he was the youngest. And so I recreated that whole side of his story, plus the rescue story. I know how the rescue stories unfold here. I've lived up north. I know the realities, which is also one of the reasons why I went with this storyline. I didn't want to get too preachy, in my story, and so I tried to be very cognizant of telling too many lessons, let's say. But I did want people to realize the realities of dog overpopulation, dog culling, that sort of thing. All right. I just totally lost track of the question, but I'm back. I say it's heavily based on my life because Renly has a lot of my traits. I wanted to discover who I was as an individual as well through this story. So I gave her a lot of my traits, but I can see her outside of myself, and she's not quite like me. So I dabbled into some of her life experiences based on some of mine. Now that was, her desire to find purpose in life, and her mother deals with mental health issues. I have my own stories when it comes to that, let's say. So yeah, that's I've incorporated some of my life moments in there. Yeah.
I love it. So let me ask you this then: the way the dog overcomes the mental health challenges in the book, and how you overcame mental health challenges in real life. Are there any
Mhm.
similarities, or are there differences, or
Hmm. Good question. I mean, I don't know that you ever overcome mental health challenges 100%, first of all. I think we all deal with life in different ways and different situations. Um, when I look at some of the people in my circle, some people were never taught how to deal with mental health challenges. I decided to educate myself as I got older. I didn't know how to deal with any of that stuff when I was in my 20s at all. No one ever talked to me about that. No one ever taught me anything. And I was on my own. And there I was in northern Canada with a young family. My husband, my two young toddlers, and I'm sure I dealt with something up there that I only was able to see after coming out of it. Gosh, Kevin, you ask questions that take me into a direction. I forget what the question was because I just started to ramble on. But we're talking about because now I'm getting deep into mental health here. But yeah, I don't think that you ever truly overcome it. I'm watching my mother age, and there's a whole new onslaught of mental health challenges that come with that, which also impact my life. And so it's knowing how to deal with that. Well, where once you had a mother who is now, I am shifting into becoming the caregiver. That is tremendous pressure, and that I know a lot of my peers and friends are also going through. So, if I can just share an experience, 2 years ago, I had a root canal, and it unleashed something in me, unfortunately in the form of mental health, and it unleashed in my jaw. And so it was TMJ. It was awful. I like I was a shell of myself. I don't even know if it was just the pressures of living here, taking care of my mom, working full time, but it went on for almost 2 years, and I there were moments when it was challenging. Thankfully, I had the knowledge to get help. I would see physiotherapists, therapists, chiropractors. I did everything I possibly could that I knew of to bring myself out of it. I knew I would get on the other side of it, and that's like one of my favorite sayings for myself is that I know I'll get on the other side of it. I remember repeating that. I just don't know when, and I'm not sure how. But I did, and here we are. Now we're talking about it. This is the first time I actually really talk about it, not publicly, but you know, in this fashion. So that's a big step. And but I'm thankful I had the know-how to move through that. Whereas if I look at, my mother, let's say, she comes from a generation where they never talked about it. Gosh, that was a long answer too, Kevin. I'm sorry.
That is okay. No, listen, I am
Yeah.
enjoying it. That's exactly what we're here,
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
is to, help break stigmas and barriers
Yeah.
and boundaries.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that, and you unpacked a lot there, so let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Any of that is in the book?
Yes.
Okay.
Not the
Uh,
jaw part. Not the root canal, but
It's
the
kinda hard to write
fact
that and put it in a book, at least my interpretation.
Renly does encounter the relationship with her mother and the fact that her mother has a completely different set of mental health issues. It's a whole different scenario. But Renly is afraid that she will become like her mother. Interpret that one how you will, but she's afraid that if she doesn't harness these thoughts or these anxieties, that she'll end up like her mom. And that the relationship with her kids may be similar to the one that she's had with her parents because she's lost her father a few years prior. So, yes, there is that in the book. Yeah.
Fear is a universal and universally expressed emotion,
Mhm.
regardless of age, gender, race, background, culture, generation, ethnicity.
Mhm.
And it is also an extremely powerful emotion at the same time.
I agree.
So let me ask you this. You being if you don't mind, you being a female who's
Mhm.
having to also raise your mom now,
Mhm.
being an author, promote that. You got a lot of, I would say, I would say roles that are traditional for probably on the men level.
Mhm.
I'm sure there's some overlap there with women, but you will think about a lot of it being related to more so on men, or roles that
Yeah.
men typically carry. What do you feel like, there that bridge is for women? Or what do you feel like that gap is for women? Being the author, having to take care of your mom, uh,
Mm.
write all of your life experiences or a lot of it in a book, promote your
Mhm.
book, like, you're doing a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Where's that gap at between men and women that you feel?
Gosh, I never really thought about that because I don't know how men deal with that. And you're right. Like, if I'm understanding it correctly, like traditionally is left to, let's say, a daughter perhaps to take care of the parents. Not so much. No, let me back that up. I mean, there are men that do it. Yes. Um, but I don't even know very many male authors. I'm not sure. We circle back to that one?
Right.
Like, how
Right.
do I do all this stuff? I don't know, I just do it.
That is
And
so
that's not the question, but it's I just do what I have to do. Who
and that
else is
shows
gonna do it?
no, no, 100%. I agree. That's a major question is who else is
Yeah,
going to do it? And I think that it sounds like to me that is a very motivating, factor there because, I mean, think about it. If you didn't do it, how else would it get done?
it wouldn't.
Right.
Um, Here's what I can say. So, I've always been the caregiver, the nurturer in my family. I'm the youngest of 3. I have always been the one to come around to my parents and or to anyone. I was just that person who took care of everyone. Now that I'm writing this book, well, first of all, I never expected this to happen, right? But I was that individual who was a seeker of fulfillment, passion in life for a career, um, took on far too many hobbies, started serial starter, serial quitter, like that's who I was. But that day when Sully approached me, and I had done a little project as well when I turned 50 for my adult sons, and I wrote 50 poems and all this stuff. That's when I became a writer, but that's when I felt like I was at home. Like my heart was home in writing. And so there's no choice anymore. I have to write in order to express my creative side because that's how I express myself the best. Words don't come to me easily. Like look, I'm talking with my hands. Words don't come to me easily, spoken words. But on the paper it's a completely different scenario and always has been, but I didn't connect the 2. Like write a story, whatever. Maybe writing the story of, taking care of my mother will be next. Who knows? But for me, I can't not write anymore because it's who I am as Holly. The rest of this stuff, well, those are just yeah, it's life. Got to do some life stuff, right? You have to take care of people. You have to take care of your parents, your friends. You have to support people. Life admin, all those things. So, yeah, you just got to do it. I'm not saying it's
Well,
easy. I'm laughing, but it's not easy. But got to find the joy in what you do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it, and that is beautiful. That is beautiful the way you just described everything. So let me do ask you this then, because you made the comment, and I don't know. I think it'll be a great idea. Actually, I'm gonna ask you a double question because because you said that you also enjoy writing. So, is it therapeutic for one, and number two, is that gonna be the emphasis of your next book is taking care of your mom or the dog taking care of the mom? Ooh.
Plot twist. I have answers for those questions, Kevin. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. I got to write this down before I forget it. Okay. First of all, we'll answer number 2 first. No, writing about my mom's not going to be the next thing. However, I would like to learn how to do memoir type of writing for one day. I don't think I'm ready. It's a lot of stuff there to unpack that I just need to get through the day-to-day for that, right? The next book will be a rom-com, and guess where the meet cute happens?
Ooh, where?
You get 3 guesses. Think
Okay,
think
where
think of what we've learned here today about my writing.
okay, so it's gonna be Northern Canada.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, that's where
That's
it's gonna
bonus
be,
points. Yeah.
and that's where the meet cute happens.
Well, let's get more specific. That's pretty vague. Northern Canada. I mean, what about a place?
Okay, so my first thought process is where you can see the northern lights at.
Oh, I like that, but no. But I'm making notes.
Now, you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm not a Canadian person, so I can't really say one way or another. All I
You
know is
don't have to be.
Ontario.
No,
I
no,
think
no,
it's
no.
Canada, ain't it?
Okay, but don't think city. You've only got one guess left, and I'm going to try and help you out here.
North Pole.
No, don't think city or like think more. Oh. I want to just think canine place.
Canine.
Like think where would people get together with their dogs? At a
Dog park.
yes.
I love it. That is so cute.
So
Oh,
that's where the meet cute will be, and it'll be a. I mean, I should read more rom-coms to say this because I've been saying this far too much, but I'm gonna reverse it a little bit. It's not gonna be where he will come to her rescue several times, but in the end, she will rescue him big time. But there will be dogs overload in there. The manuscript is already written, the first draft. So we're moving on with that one. So that was the answer to that question. But now to the number one question, because I have been thinking about this nonstop. And I've had a discussion with my friend Jenny about it. Is it therapeutic to write? Basically is the general question, right? We had a 3-hour discussion on Saturday afternoon because I cannot, your listeners are going to think I am out to lunch when I say this. I cannot make the connection. Oops, sorry. I cannot make the connection between journaling and releasing my thoughts. I don't, I hear people say it, that it works for them. And yes, I can express myself through writing very well, very articulately, but I can't release it from me, from my brain. Like, you know how some people just say like, "Oh, it just I don't know, it's not like it fixes things, but it helps them and it to release it." I do not get that connection. Can you shed some light?
well, if I may, um, I think everybody is different.
Mhm.
I don't like to write unless I absolutely have to. So you give me a journal and assignment, and I'm just here to tell you, like,
Mhm.
mm, no, I mean, I was working on a dissertation, and I worked on that joker for about 2 years, and I kept getting ran in circles by different professors and different this, that, and the third, and I just finally said, "The hell with it," and took a ABD on it
Mhm.
on in that program.
Mhm.
And it's not that I didn't mind writing it. It's just for me, it just uh wasn't beneficial for me at the end goal. I'm just not a writer. I write
Yeah.
if I have to. That's like one of my questions when I do group is, have you read a book for pleasure in the last 30 days? Well, typically we get one or two patients who step in. Uh, and for me, unless it's academia, I'm just being straight.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my little spiritual stuff that I read,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
Yeah.
Nothing more or less.
Hmm.
Mm.
I guess it's just that it feels like I should know what that's like, or I should have I should have a proper answer that yes, if you write down all your feelings and thoughts, you'll feel better. But I'm perplexed by this one. It's something that so I'm doing a trial, by the way. I'm
We're
on
trying
3 days.
out. Yes.
I'm journaling every night because she read an article in the New York Post about Michael Phelps and how it helped him uncover a lot of patterns in his life. And so I'm on the third day. Haven't uncovered anything yet. That's like mind blowing. But I'm trying it. I want to see. I need to understand. Yeah.
I love it. No, I definitely agree with you on that. One of the things I will say about writing, if I have a guide that tells me how to do certain things, I can do that, right? Like I can
Hmm.
definitely do that. It's not an issue. And that's what we call a self-appraisal or
Hmm.
a I'm gonna go with that self-appraisal. It's the one that fits best anyways. Uh,
Yeah.
and so you look at yourself, right? Like it'll give you a list of things to like kind of really, look at, look at your your concerns of fears, your concerns of resentments, and
Hmm.
of course, then it's got a relationship in there. So you look at your relationships and
Hmm.
kind of see assess or examine everything in that area in those areas.
Hmm.
And so, if I have a guide that tells me how to do certain things, absolutely, 1000%, I agree. It's therapeutic and beneficial and can help in many areas. Now, outside of that, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a reflector. I definitely love to just spend time reflecting. But part of me wishes I would have written it down all these years. Gosh, I would have had some material.
Right. Right, yeah, no, hey, listen, if I was to write down everything that I think
Mhm.
about and or reflect on,
Mhm.
I'd have stacks of books lined up,
Mhm.
stacked up in the corner. It'd be like, "Yeah, I remember. I know what's in that book. I know what's on that book, page 32."
Mhm. Yep.
Halfway down the page.
Remember that time?
Right? That's if I was to write, I don't know, man, like, I'm not a big writer, anymore, but, for me, I think it goes back to, I think every person is different, right? I
Yeah.
can't can't be touching my lifesavers. I'm kidding. Go ahead. Um, uh, but I think it goes back to every individual's different.
Mhm.
Every individual's different. What works for one person might not be
Yeah.
beneficial for another. Um, it's like, same thing with therapy. One what one technique does for you might not do the same for me. You have to be mindful of that.
Yeah. Very true. But that those old thought patterns came out for me when that conversation came up because I'm like, "Well, I need to understand this." I mean, I still want to out of interest now, but like you said, not everything works for every individual. So maybe that's just not how it works for me, and that's okay.
And it might be the fact that you writing these books might be clinically therapeutic for you.
Well, a
Just
friend brought up a very good point a few months ago, and we were just chatting about the types of stories, and I had just written a short story, and it was a love story, and it was um her name was Poppy and his name was Mitchell, and it was about butter tarts. Somebody wanted me to write a story about butter tarts. So I wrote this cutesy love story with dogs in it, of course, and so we were just chatting about that, and she says, "Did you ever stop to realize or to think about why you're always writing about love stories or, incorporating dogs and love and making it all like cute and fluffy?" Because that was bothering me for a while. Like all my stories are light and fluffy. And I thought, how will I ever have credibility? And then I realized, no, 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 no. The world needs light and fluffy for sure, and more dogs. And so she said, "Do you ever stop to think about that?" And I said, "No." Like, why? She said, "Because you're always seeking the good in people and through love, like you're always, trying to spread the love. My Instagram is random hearts. That's my shtick. And she said that you're forever looking for it without thinking about it. It's just subconsciously. And I really I don't know, I really like that. I love that she brought that up for me. She saw it in me, and we've only known each other for maybe a year, but she saw that right away, something I couldn't see. So, that was a little out there, but
Well, and you said earlier that you don't notice patterns. Could just be a pattern right there that you maybe need to explore a little bit more, potentially. I don't know.
Noted. Noted.
Noted. All right, listen, my colleagues do it like this. So they've incorporated what I say. So when you say noted, you have to say and understood. Noted
Yes.
and understood.
Noted and understood. And I've heard you say it twice, but I just didn't wanna copy you.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
You can use those words.
Noted and understood.
Right? Oh, wow. Well, so let me ask you this then, okay? Because you you've got this first book published. You're looking at doing some, of course, some more writing and stuff like that. What is in store for you, like moving forward? Like, what are some of your goals and plans? I know you said writing and I'm gonna mess this name up.
Rom-com? Oh,
Memoir.
memoir. Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know you said something about writing that. So what is in store for you kind of like moving forward? And is it going to also be based on some or are some of your writings and future pieces of literature going to be based on like real life circumstances and scenarios?
Mm, I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying writing these rom-coms right now, like that, and I've got ideas now for other ones. And so even from North of Broken and Forever Home, there is an introduction of a couple, let's say. You could probably interpret it that way. So I've already got the ideas swirling around. More dogs? Sure. So, no, I think fiction. I'm going to stick with fiction for a while because I am enjoying it. I'm having fun. I work full time, so I can't get into something so deep as the memoir just yet. That could be long-term goal. But my son and I just started a podcast and we're having tons of fun with that. And we discuss how dogs are your pets, cats, pigs, cows, I don't care what it is, but how they influence your creativity. And I am meeting so many interesting people through this. So I'd like to explore that more and get more comfortable with that because, that nasty little monster called fear popped in and it hindered me from doing that for quite a while. And so I finally stepped through the door and we started the podcast in November. So more of that. The writing, as always, that will never change. Try this journaling for another 11 days, but who's counting? And I've got plans. I want to collaborate more with people. I see that in my short-term future. I don't know what that looks like, but I think there's more of that in my future as well. Yeah.
I love it. Now, you can't just say that you and your son started a podcast without giving us the name, where to find you.
All right.
I mean, like, come on.
Sorry.
We got to have like all the meat and potatoes, not just the vegetables here.
Okay. What kind of potatoes? Mashed or baked?
Uh, well, I'm more of a mashed potato person, but if you want to throw some baked and some sweet potatoes, that'll be fine with me too.
Oh, okay. Do you have ketchup with your mashed potatoes?
I'm not a Canadian, so I might moving
It's
forward
not
now.
really it's mostly us that does that, right? The ketchup thing is what
No,
I'm
I don't know.
gathering?
I don't know. Is it Canadians?
I don't know. Like, everybody I ask does not eat ketchup on their mashed potatoes, and I don't understand that.
So it must just be only Canadians and not Americans, but now you did give me an idea to try.
Oh, you have to do the whole volcano thing.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I'm a volcano it up, put some
okay. Yeah.
ketchup on it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. What about
love it.
poutine? Poutine? Is that a thing for
Put put puts
you d
in?
oui?
I don't I
No?
don't know. I don't know anything of that.
Well, you've heard the word, Kevin. Poutine.
Uh-uh. Negative, never heard of it.
Fries with cheese curds and gravy?
Okay, fries with cheese curds, yes. With gravy, no.
So you guys put cheese on your fries with nothing else on it?
I mean, we got bacon, we do jalapenos,
What's the sauce?
you don't need any sauce. I mean, some people might do, queso cheese or things like that. Some people might do that. Some people might, do, ketchup. Some people might do mustard. I'm more of a guy, if you bring me some cheese fries, bring me some cheddar or whatever cheese on the fries, and give me some hot sauce, or give me some jalapenos and some hot sauce, and
Like
maybe a little
Taco
bit of
Bell
ketchup.
kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%.
Okay, and I respect that. However, I'm about to change your world.
Do it.
You get yourself some French fries. I mean, hand cut are the best, but
Yeah,
frozen, that's fine if that's all you have. And cheese curds, I don't know if that's a thing in the States, but you can use shredded mozzarella. That's fine as well. And some gravy, some dark gravy, not that light stuff.
some white
And
gravy, as they like to say.
some what?
White gravy.
No, has to be beef.
Oh, kid, go ahead.
Our culture clashes are happening. So, anyways, you put the cheese, you put the gravy on top, and then put ketchup on top.
That honestly, the way you described it sounds absolutely delicious. Now, I'm not
You're
editing
lying.
this out. No, I'm dead
You're,
serious. That I'm not editing none of this out.
you can't.
I
It's
am
live.
right, I know.
Uh,
Uh, that sounds delicious. It
it
it it
really
really.
is.
And so, just for anybody who's listening, yes, I know we're on the podcast talking about mental health. We're on the podcast, trying
Yes.
to break stigmas. We've, asked,
Yeah.
we've talked about women, and we're talking about different cultures here. All of this is important for anybody
Mhm,
who's listening or watching us.
mhm.
And reason it is all important is because we get to see how different we are, while at the same time how similar we are. We're both using humor, and it's very hilarious. I am having a blast up here with Miss Holly, and she is teaching me about some of the Canadian culture, which is
That's right.
absolutely marvelous and beautiful. Just
Thank you.
because Canadians eat cheese fries different than we do, doesn't mean we can't incorporate the cultures to try something different and to do something different and to learn. So that's what it's
Absolutely.
about. What are your thoughts on that, Miss Holly?
I think you said it 100% perfectly perfect. Yes. I agree. I concur.
I concur. I use that too. I love it.
I'm so stuck on cheese, fries, and gravy right now that I'm, being kind of like,
I love it. I know.
uh,
I
but
love it.
I couldn't agree with you more, Kevin. I think that, we've laughed and I shared some pretty deep stuff that I never thought I would. But I also realize that if I don't talk about it, then people will have um, a perception of me, even, right? Like, people need to know that people go through stuff, no matter who they are, what they do. And I also need my adult sons to understand that it's okay. And that's not been easy to show what I would have called at one time weaknesses. And I feel bad about that. I thought it was weak to show that I wasn't strong enough for my boys. But now I'm learning. No, it's okay. They need to see this because I don't need them growing up thinking they can't seek out help. So I love that we've been able to laugh and then get serious and all the things. Yeah,
Well, it shows too that we are each human beings, and
that's right.
we're not supposed to be perfect. And just because we go through things doesn't mean that we can't make mistakes, say the wrong things, do the
Mhm.
absolute most bizarre things ever, uh, and just
Like put
literally
plum sauce on your poutine.
right.
Sorry, cut you off. I couldn't help it.
Right. Oh, wow, wow.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then, because you said that
Mhm.
are still working and you're gonna be waiting for your memoir after the fact, what kinda work you do?
I have done so many different types of work, but when we finally moved back to Ontario, I joined Correctional Service Canada,
Ooh, that is so awesome.
which is, I worked in operations for 15 years, and now I'm in a different role, but I'm still with corrections. I'm on my way to retirement. It has been quite a journey, and I've worked a lot of different jobs within corrections, but I have also re-educated myself. I went back to university in 2019, got my degree. I tried other jobs, and I'm still trying to find where I fit in. I still have some great years of work in me, and I don't think that this is my final job. I know there's more for me. I'm actually back in school right now doing a master's in, um, Master of Fine Arts in Fiction, so never stop learning, but that's what I do during the day. Yeah, I write corporate jargon, which is very different from creative writing. I try to slip in the odd, like, fun word to see if management will pick it up.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. So let me ask you this, okay,
Mhm,
because we've never had a woman who worked in corrections on our show. I have to ask. I must ask, okay?
mhm,
I must. I have to. There's like if I don't ask you any other question and then but I ask you this, right?
mhm,
We have covered the whole show. Like I can go ahead and edit everything else and keep this last keep this 5 minutes here.
mhm,
Being a woman in corrections,
mhm,
that is a male dominated
mhm.
career setting. How has it been?
So, I can speak for community corrections, but I can't speak for institutional experience because I haven't worked in an institution. Our federal institutions are in Southern Ontario, and that's a whole different world. But if you were to have, let's say, one of my peers here who worked inside of an institution, I think you refer to them as prisons in the States.
Yep.
We call them institutions here, just to be different.
I think
But
it'll depend on what you're who you're talking to,
okay.
because we also call it institutions depending on, like
Oh.
well, but we also call depending on which sector in the field you are referring to, some
Mhm.
of we call, like, hospitals and jails we also refer to as institutions. It just
Right,
all depends. It just all depends, but
right.
go ahead.
Yeah. So if I had like a correctional officer sitting beside me and she worked on the inside and I work on the outside, that's when the offenders reach parole and they're on parole. Um, in the community corrections, believe it or not, there are far more females than males. Yeah. Now I would say that inside the institution it's the opposite, but there are a lot of women working inside, and we have women institutions only where men work in the institutions. But where like in a parole office, they're dominated by women,
That
which
is
surprised me in the beginning as well.
that surprises me.
Yeah.
But now I will say, uh, it makes sense because when self-disclosure here,
Mhm.
when I was
Goes in the
on
vault.
right, when I was on probation, shoot, that was, 012 to 13, I think it was.
Mhm.
I think I pulled about 15 months on, probation. Well, I had a good-looking probation officer and, Miss Thompson, I think was her name, yeah, Miss Thompson, she was out of Kinston. She got
Mhm.
married, shortly thereafter, but she was not only an amazing and beautiful probation officer, she, uh it's what we've been talking about
Mhm.
the whole show is just being
Mhm.
human, being genuine.
Mhm.
She was that.
Mm.
Like, she came to see me at the house, and she was like, "Kev, I have to violate you, but hear me out. Please just hear me out. Don't trip out. You're not in any trouble. We just have to
Mhm.
get your PO extended. I have to violate you, but you're not in trouble. You're not going back to jail. Like you're not
Mhm.
you're good. Like, please just hear me out, Kev." And I mean, she was just absolutely
Mm.
phenomenal. And I give it up to people like yourself, especially the women who work in corrections. Y'all are absolutely the backbone
Hmm.
to what I feel is necessary and missing in the field of corrections is empathetic care.
Mm. I like where you went with that. That's very nice, and I think Miss Thompson, is that
Yep.
she
Officer,
was sh
absolutely.
she treated you as a human, first and foremost, and that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, we are here to rehabilitate and reintegrate men and women into society to become law-abiding citizens, right? Like the rest of us. And so that's what we're supposed to do. I this is a very bad comparison here, but I look at my dog Cash, who I mentioned before, complete I'm not supposed to swear here, but a lot of
Listen,
shit.
this is our podcast, so you can say
Okay.
whatever the hell you want to say.
Complete asshole, you know? Um, but I was taught in the process through all these years to treat him differently. Like not like he was a bad dog. And don't just try to fix him. Like again, a weird comparison, but if I had to come back to that, it's like that's how we are that's how we are taught to treat offenders or inmates or however you want to refer to them, parolees, that they are people and they need a chance. So, yeah. Hmm.
Absolutely.
Where's Trevor?
Right. And it's interesting because Trevor worked inside of the institutions.
Oh my goodness, he would have, and I know that our systems are very different, Canadian versus American. I know that the correctional systems are very different.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole other that's
Yeah,
hours worth
we
of conversation.
you're right. The closest we've come to having somebody who's been in corrections, we had a retired, I guess you could say he was the same, similar to um, sheriff or highway patrol,
Mhm.
whatever is on that level. Like he's not over. Like it's more than just a city, right? Like it's more than just a town or a city. Like they're at a very wide range. Um,
Okay.
and so like I say, sheriff or highway patrol, whatever the equivalent is in Canada. It's the
Mhm,
closest
mhm.
we've had to having somebody who's been in corrections or
Right.
on our show. So
Mm. I wanna tell you a funny story, but this might not be the time, I don't know.
go ahead. We got all the time in the world.
I
It's
won't
it's
I
our
won't divulge any I would never divulge private information. So I'll keep it very general, but I'll never forget my first day as I was taking on an assignment of being a parole officer in the community. And part of that is visiting um, men and women on parole in the community and sometimes in very remote places. And so it was in the back 40 farmland. I had never been there. There's no cell coverage. There is only one dog in this world that I won't use the word fear, but yeah, that it's not that it's not my favorite. I think they're majestic shepherds. Any kind of shepherd just puts me sort of in that, you know, stage. And shepherds are also associated with authority, right? So here I go. I do my call in. Okay, I'll be about a half an hour because there's no cell coverage. I pull up to this hobby farm where I'm going to visit the individual. Never met them before. Step out of the car, and about 9 Malinois shepherds are coming towards me. And I'm just bracing because I'm thinking, okay, this is it. Is this how I go? Like, because I've already got the shepherd fear and I didn't know. I had no idea this was happening. And it was the mother and the father and the herd, and I guess they were breeding these Malinois to sell or to, I don't know how it works, but to give to the police agencies and to authority. So I thought, oh, wow. And they were just puppies and they just adored me, and and I adored them, but talk about fear. I thought this was it. So that didn't last very long. I did finish the assignment and went back into the office.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
I will never
No,
forget
look,
that.
look, I've had so many incidences happen too since I've been in the field, and
Uh,
it's like I remember this one time, and you're talking about fear.
mhm,
We were in the middle of a state audit, and this when I was a clinical supervisor out of Durham, North Carolina, and state auditors were in the office talking to my program director, and I get this call of, from a patient and staff. They're like, oh my god, there's a fire in the parking lot, fire in the parking lot." I'm like, so we look out the window and we see a car straight on fire.
wow.
Let me tell you this, right? You go through all of the training, right? And just
Mhm,
nothing, just in the moment, in the heat of a moment, you don't think about half the training you go through. Like you could go through years of training and it's just
mhm,
never going to ever happen, right?
mm-mm.
I started grabbing buckets of water to throw on an electrical fire while state was. Program director came running out the office. No, 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 it's electrical fire. Use the extinguisher. And I'm like, oh, it's right there on the wall in front of me.
Yep, but muscle memory did not kick in that day.
Right. So when you talk about fear,
Mhm.
it's one of those things like, fear kicks in, you don't really think about things. And so
No.
you just make the absolute insane, craziest decisions ever.
Yep, yep,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah. And so yeah, that just goes to show that fear is, as we said earlier, like all emotions are universally expressed,
mm,
and
mhm,
and and they're universal. Everybody feels it.
mhm. Yep, does not matter who you are.
You're right. Uh, so let me ask you this. All right.
Mhm,
We
alright.
can't keep you all night, even though I would love to, because I am enjoying this. Uh, where can people find your book at if they want to purchase it?
Currently,
Mhm.
pre-order Kindle, that's where it is, but on February 14th, which is Valentine's Day, it
Happy
will be
Valentine.
available. Happy Valentine's Day, like we said, we're coming full circle here. Um, it will be available for purchase on Amazon, of course, and all those places. Um, I will be selling locally here. That's a little bit far for you, but I wanted to say this, like, let's get cheesy again, but this is the love letter to my dogs. So I dedicated it to Sully and Cash, and it'll be available February 14th.
That is so beautiful, so cute. I'm telling you, I love it. I love it.
High
Uh,
cheese factor going on here. Cheesy. Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, alright. If people want to ask you to come and maybe do a speaking engagement, on their platform, or get you to be a mentor, or maybe get you to do some writing for 'em, or some critiquing of some writing,
Mhm.
anything of that sort, doesn't matter what it is, how would they be able to contact you, and where can they find you?
Well, I do have a website, and it's, ramblingsfromthelittleshed.com. I'm on Instagram, same handle. I have a Substack newsletter as well. So you just type in my name. There's not very many gut Willingers out there in the world. You will find me. And if they don't mind a lot of, hand gestures because of my French background, then we're good. Speaking engagements, I don't know. There would be a caveat. Like, the hands will be flying, and so
I love it. Uh, I absolutely love it, yeah. This has been an amazing time with you on here. So
Thank
let
you,
me
I
ask
agree.
no, 100%. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
this has been a phenomenal, phenomenal time with you. If there's one thing that people you want somebody to take away from this, what would that be?
Mm. Well, I would say this one keeps coming up, and it is that because it's a lesson that I learned through the process, that this started out as a rescue story. Like, if I come back to my book, let's say, I mean, I could say lots of different things, but I'll bring it back to this because, I guess I'm proud of myself for coming to this realization, but it was no longer a rescue story. That's how I started it. It became a story of acceptance. Period. Just I accepted the dogs accepted me, and we're just gonna carry on now. And they're seniors now, so every moment I have with my dogs is special, precious, as life is, yes, but especially with my 2 dogs because they're older now. We think they're around 12. We have no idea. They're rescues. So I would just say, the old saying, "Accept what you cannot change," sometimes. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Most important question. You
There's
ready?
another question?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%.
I thought that was the last one.
No.
All
We've
right,
got
lay it on me.
one more
Okay.
for you.
Yeah, yeah.
What is your call to action?
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Can you give me a few more words? What is my call to action?
What is your call to action?
Okay, I'm just gonna answer it the way that I feel like I
That'll be fine.
interpret.
There's no right or wrong reason, or I mean, right or wrong way to answer.
Okay, there's no
It's
pass or
just
fail here?
there's no pass or fail, so your call to action could be go buy your book or go do this, or it could be like a social thing that you want people to do in society. It could be,
Okay,
of an emotional thing. It could
okay.
I mean, whatever you feel like a call to action is. Or
My call to action is putting a mentorship program in place. I have been talking about this for 3 years. I don't know what it looks like yet, but it will happen. Because when I started this process, I wish there would have been someone there to help me along the way. Now, I'm the person who goes out and seeks things, and I had great, like, people around me, but I live in a town where things are a little bit underground and you have to kinda especially when it comes to the arts or writing, people tend to, like, keep everything close to the chest and they don't really share a whole lot. I'm not gonna be that way. You need help? Email me, pick up the phone, whatever. I want to help people do that. Not monetize. I'm talking just straight up mentorship because I wish that would have been there for me. That's my call to action. I don't have a set plan. I don't have a anything really, but that is it. It's gonna happen. So there, I put it out there in the world. Uh-oh. Kidding. Bring it
It's
on. Yeah.
it's beautiful. No,
Yeah.
and folks, you've heard it on the One Moment Podcast, another episode down, another amazing and beautiful young lady on our show, helping to break stigmas, break barriers, break boundaries, and to help spread the message of hope, love, compassion, peace. Very similar to what the Buddhist monks are doing right now from Fort Worth, Texas to Washington, D.C.
Mhm.
So I might make this uh, I might have to prioritize this because this is exactly what we've done
Mhm.
and get the editing done.
Mhm.
Anyways, that's I'm sidetracking already.
Get her
Uh,
done, Kevin.
get her done. Hey, that's what is that comedian's name?
Cable guy.
Thank you, Cable Guy.
Got her did.
Right. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, thank you. This has been awesome. every experience is different, every conversation is different, but this one, just felt comfortable and yeah, like it was myself and overshared.
Thank you, Miss Holly. We sincerely and
Thank
humbly
you.
do appreciate it. And
As do I.
can't wait to get you on here again.
Collaborations.
Absolutely, 1000%, one day at a time. Uh, well, folks, check us out. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Minds, even though we don't really use Minds, LinkedIn, Spotify, Apple, Pandora. We're across the board. Check us out. Thank you again, Miss Holly. Sincerely and humbly, I do appreciate it. You have been phenomenal.
Thank you.